waiting for the live to pop up on my MacBook so I could check the audio. Here we go. We're good now. My hair coming through. Okay. How's everyone doing today? I know I'm a whole day late, but we're not going to talk about that. Let me mute myself on here. That's getting annoying. Okay. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. If this is the first time you're tuning into like this little live series that I have going on here, then basically what's been going on is that I've been doing a Cannabling tutorial on live. I have a whole playlist on my page of different Cannabling tutorials that I've done, and this one is going to have like a lot of butterflies and a lot of flowers on it. I'm super excited to demold and everything. I took everyone through step by step, and we've done each layer together. There's 4 different layers on this particular ashtray, and we did all 4 together, letting them set. You guys got to see me mix my resin live. You guys get to see me choose colors. You got to see me like lay all the butterflies and flowers and use the glitter and everything, which can be found on my Etsy shop, by the way, so make sure you check that out. Always linked below in the description. But yeah, so this is what we have now. Our baby has been curing for about 48 hours now, safe to say. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and demold it. First, I'm going to put on a new pair of gloves just to avoid any smudges or anything like that. Oh, let me get a little measuring cup first before I even get too deep into this. All right, back is. I just needed to get a measuring cup because we are going to be doing a doming layer. Okay. Now these are vinyl gloves. I do have some links below in my description. These are a size medium in case anyone is wondering. Okay. All right, so to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to pull at the edges. These gloves are also going to help protect us from these sharp edges too. So just kind of pull at each individual edge. As I told you guys, I did spray some mold release into this mold before I actually got started. I can actually show you guys the mold release in just a few. And I can't say if it's making such a huge difference, but this one's always pretty hard to demold. And I haven't demolded one in quite some time, so I can't even honestly say if it is a little bit harder or easier. But what I will say is that the edges are coming up pretty easily. However, since this mold is so deep, that also makes it a little bit more difficult to demold as well. All right. So just gonna keep pulling, 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 and it looks so pretty already. You guys see the side? Look how clear and precise those edges are. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. That's why I totally recommend a leveling board. If it's within your budget, definitely get one. You don't have to get a super big one, and they do have them available on Amazon, and I have it linked below for you too. Okay, so I'm just... Oh, y'all seen that little piece go flying? No. Okay. Trying to pull off some of these little excess edges. Oh. Trying to make sure it's not cutting my fingers. I hate getting those like deep finger cuts on the inside of my hand. They hurt so bad. But the things we do for our art. And see, we have these little pieces that are like kind of forming on the edge and everything. And you just want to peel that off too. It should come off pretty easily. I would sand this for you guys as well on camera, but I probably won't be doing that just because I'd have to take it outside. I don't want to sand it. I'm right here, and I'm probably not going to carry this camera outside, to be completely honest. I don't trust my Wi-Fi to keep up with me. Okay, so after you pull the sides up from here, you just kind of want to start pulling it from the base and lifting off the part, but you want to be careful. You don't want to pull too hard in one area because you don't want to rip your mold. You don't want to have to keep rebuying a mold every time you want to make this particular design. All right, so once I get it out, it pops out really easily. I just go ahead and bend my mold right back into place and try to make sure that no little excess pieces remain in there, and that's how I'm able to minimize the cleaning that I need to do. Ooh, y'all, she is so fabulous. Y'all ready to see? Okay. I feel like it's so hard to see on camera. Let me try to turn the brightness down a tad. What if, oh, Lord, I done hit something on the screen. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna just stop touching stuff. Okay, but this is what we have here. I want to kind of get closer so you guys can see everything, all the details. I love how these colors are blending together. Y'all see that? It's sort of like a frame to like this very mystical world, and well, not frame, like a portal kind of, like it's just so beautiful. You see the little charms. Now these are the clear 420 charms that I have here, the weed leaf charms. These are the clear. I also have the AB option. The AB option I used in another tutorial, and those just give it a more colorful rhinestone, and you could see the colors you know, really shine like the rainbow. This is the crown rhinestone here. You can see the little gun charms and the dips, so like I was talking about. But yeah, I'm really excited with how this turned out. I'm very satisfied. And I don't think I want to do anything else to this ashtray. I was maybe going to come in with something else. I really don't know what, but I really like how this is going on, and it already has a lot going on, and I don't want to do too much, not too much and everything. So we're going to just go ahead and do a doming layer. All right, so I'm gonna move that up here. I'm gonna grab my resin that I got right here. I'm only gonna make 20 milliliters because that's all I really need for this. I'm going to pour 10 of the hardener. This is another reason why the leveling board is ideal, just to make sure that everything's even when you're pouring too. It's really a big help with resin, I must say. Okay, so that was the hardener. Now we're gonna add 20 milliliters of the resin. I'm sorry, 10 milliliters of the resin here. And that's because we are trying to get 20 in total, okay? Now we're just going to take our trusty stir stick. And we're going to mix that up really, really well. With this being really shallow, you want to be careful because with it being more shallow, it just seems to catch more bubbles. So heads up with that. But the good thing is that since it's shallow, it also makes it easier for the bubbles to come to the surface, so they don't have to travel as far. And that's always a great thing. I'm going to move this down just a tad so you guys can see what I got going on here. All right, so I'm just mixing this resin up here. Mixy, mixy, mix. Clockwise and counterclockwise. Both are important. Make sure you scrape it the size, especially since we're working with such a small amount. You want to make sure that this is mixed very thoroughly. Very, very thoroughly, okay? Can't express that enough. All right. So now I'm getting... my heat gun. Just gonna pull this to the side because the cord is really short on here. Get an extension cord. Get an extension cord to make your life easier. I'm just gonna mix this all around. I'm turning every so often. Make sure it doesn't get overheated in one area. Okay, so that's feeling really thin now, and that's good. You want to get it to a nice thin consistency because when it's thin, that's when the bubbles are able to come up to the surface and pop for you. So this heat kind of works in two ways. It helps you mix it easier and also helps the bubbles pop faster. Okay, so we're done with that. Ooh, our cup is a little warm, so be careful. But now you see me just kind of stirring, making sure that everything is nice and even. I like to stir as it starts to cool down. Okay. So now we can leave that there for just a tad bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of look and see where there may be any like little dips or bubbles that formed at. So for example, let me see if I could kind of point at it. I'm going to use this to kind of point at it. But it's like right here. Let me turn this light back on up so y'all can see what I'm doing. But there's a hole kind of right there. I hope y'all can see what I'm talking about. But it's basically from one of the bubbles that formed. It looks like it was over here by the butterfly, so the butterfly probably trapped a bubble right there or something. But we're going to get in there with this doming resin that we just mixed up, and we're going to fill any holes that we find that look like that. And we're also going to look for other ones too. So that's just what I'm doing here, and it helps me be more mindful of where to place the resin and where I kind of need to swish it around at before it gets a chance to cure. If you can see, there's also, oh, I lost it. Because to be honest, it's really hard to see them, to be completely honest. Okay. There's a bubble right in here. And this bubble is between the blue layer and the clear layer. Yes, between that blue and the clear layer. So I'm gonna work on that to try to get a little bit of resin to cover that up. And the reason I like to do that is because it makes the cleanup easier and it helps increase the longevity of the actual product. Because people don't want to keep a dirty ashtray. Like someone who's going to buy this ashtray is going to buy it because they like nice things and they like more than likely clean things. They're probably more of a bougie smoker, to be completely honest. So you want to make sure they're able to clean it nicely and keep it having look nice because it may be sitting on their living room table. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my resin. I'm going to pour about half of it in here. And then I'm going to take my little stick. I'm going to get into those areas and everything that I was telling you guys about. And just kind of push this resin all around. Making sure I get those major areas where bubbles form. And so I can't begin to tell you how much these bubbles be irritating me. But if you work with resin, you should already know how annoying bubbles are. But yeah, I'm just taking this stir stick. I'm touching each space. I'm coming up here where I saw those bubbles at. And if you accidentally touch the side, I'm going to show you guys how to get that up right quick. Because that's exactly what I just did. But no worries, no worries. If you get a little bit of resin onto your rim while you're dumbing, you're just going to take an alcohol pad. I have it like just kind of wrapped around my finger like this so I could grip it better. And then you're just going to swipe. You want to make sure you get all of it up though. And then once you think you got it all up, go over it one more time to be sure. And that's going to make sure that it doesn't leave any like little bumps or extra little ridges on there or anything. Okay. And so this resin is spreading pretty far already. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the remaining. Okay. Now I'm just going to take this stir stick. I'm just going to scrape at the sides, but not too much because I don't want it to I don't want it to form any bubbles. So I'm trying to be careful about how I kind of scrape it out of here and stuff. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see everything that I'm doing really. I wish I could zoom this in more, but I don't think I can. But I'm just really trying to make sure I get all these spaces and really get up in here, because my next step is going to be coming in here with the heat gun just to make sure I blast any more bubbles, and also so we can make sure that it stays nice and even as well. I'm also trying to find those bubbles that I had discovered. Okay, here they are. I could not find them for a second. Because, see, they're not always obvious, but I really just be trying to make sure I fill them in the best I can and make them less jagged. Like I said, I just want to make sure that people's living rooms look clean if they put my product in their living room. Okay. So now I'm going to take the heat gun. You guys probably aren't going to be able to see this. Okay. I don't think this is safe, but I'm holding the surge protector in my other hand. But what I'm doing is I'm just going over this with the heat gun. I don't want to put too much heat in one area, and I don't want to blow the resin away from any area either. So you want to be careful not to hold it in one spot for too long. You don't want it to like kind of leave holes in the surface or anything like that. Okay, so now that I'm finished with that part, I'm gonna go ahead and return it back right here. And this is the point where you want to do kind of like one last look over. Make sure nothing fell in there, anything like that, any pieces of hair that you might need to grab. Kind of look at it from different angles, especially since there's so much in here. You want to make sure that there isn't any like lint or anything like that blending with the spaces that you're trying to cover. I'm also going to come back over here where those holes were, because I know that resin thinned out when it got heated. So I'm just going to make sure it has a nice thick little covering on it. Okay. All right, so we are looking good. We are looking good. I hope that this tutorial was super easy to follow for everyone. I'm going to be putting the final results. I'm going to be putting the final results up on a picture. I may do like a little reel or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but I will be showing you guys, like, you know, the show off video, of course, so you can see what the final product looks like outside and in natural light versus the artificial, because, you know, the artificial light, it just really does not do it justice, in my opinion. What I'm doing now is I'm just kind of going over the rim with another alcohol wipe just to be sure that no resin like kind of splattered up here or anything like that. And if it did, this is just going to wipe it free and make sure it does not make itself at home. All right, so of course, like, if you guys have any questions for me, anything like that, you can leave them in the comment section for me. I'm actually going to be hopping off of here in a few, but I would like to thank you guys so much for joining me. If this is something you want to continue seeing from me, we could definitely pop on here with some more resin videos from time to time, like doing some lives, because to be honest, I probably like I don't have too many more projects that are still being worked on. I have one more, I believe, in process. I have one more project that's in process right now. But after that, I'm really, you know, relaxing on the regular tutorials that I was doing just because I have so many of them. I told you guys I'm coming with some other dope stuff too. But if you guys are interested in resin videos, then let me know because I can still go live to do them. But I will not be doing them as far as like the whole recording and editing thing. So I just felt like y'all deserve that heads up. But I'll leave a poll for it, of course, so that way I know what y'all desire. But thank you so much for joining me. Hello there. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. And I look forward to showing you guys the final results. Bye, hippies. Mwah.